I'm gonna say something that might sound crazy, but by the end of this, I'm certain I can persuade you to see this the same as me. Michael Myers from Halloween, Dio Brando from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Marvin Herring from Home Alone, and Monika from Doki Doki Literature Club all share a core archetype that shapes their narrative. Don't believe me? Let me introduce you to a little something known as the invaded house. According to GURPS Horror, all horror settings can be reduced to two symbolic settings: the bad place and invaded house. The bad place is where you go to the horror, and the invaded house is when the horror comes to you. Pretty simple to understand. And if you've seen my video on the bad place, all this should sound familiar since I'm literally repeating what I said early on. Now, something I wish to address in that one I did say, that the bad place tends to be more common. In terms of iconic horror setting, that's probably true. But as I dug into the invaded house, I realized it might actually be more prevalent than I initially thought. It just disguises itself better. Body horror, possession films, home invasions, technological paranoia. These are everywhere. The invaded house doesn't always announce itself the way a haunted house does. It's part of how I was able to connect all those examples I mentioned as being the same. It is also why I can help you design one of these, as I will later in the video. First, I need to do what I always do at this point: get to the essence of the topic. We can't build until we have the foundation for everything else. So, to give a simple definition, the invaded house horror setting is a domain of comfort and order that is violated by a force of intrusion. If we turn this into a formula, it looks like this: security plus intrusion equals violation of the familiar, the self, or the boundary. With that in mind, we can break it down to these three atoms: the sanctuary, the intruder, and the boundary. The sanctuary is the symbol of safety, routine, and control. It can be physical, a literal home, or metaphorical, a family, a mind, a body, a nation. Its strength comes from contrast. The stronger its comfort and order, the sharper the dread when violated. Also, the more personalized it is, as in photos, memories, scents, rituals, whatever, the better it is as a sanctuary. As for why, it's because it hurts more when torn. As for what the intruder is, it's a foreign agent that violates the boundaries of the sanctuary. It could be physical, like a killer, demon, or alien, or it could be abstract, a disease, possession, paranoia, surveillance, guilt, whatever. What matters is that it does not belong. Functionally, it introduces existential friction, an outsider pressing into what was supposed to be sacred. When it comes to horror, it serves contamination, corruption, or exposure. The boundary is, well, the threshold, the thin line between inside and outside, safety and danger, known and unknown. Horror often escalates by gradually collapsing this line. To note, there are all sorts of different boundaries that exist beyond the physical, where I'm assuming your mind is going. There are psychological boundaries, biological boundaries, emotional and social boundaries, and technological boundaries. And at this point, you can probably see why I said what I said at the beginning. Michael Myers, as well as Marvin Harry, are obvious examples of the intruder. The tone between the two examples overall differ, but they're both physical threats that create fear and panic. Dio, meanwhile, crosses social boundaries as he gets into the jokester manner and everything he does from there. Of the 10 Invader archetypes, he is a usurper, a relative, guest, or roommate that gradually seizes the home's control. The emotional flavor it's all about here is betrayal and displacement. Monika, meanwhile, crosses digital boundaries as she invades your PC. As for the type of invader she is, she's a hacker. Something that gets into the system and corrupts it. Her type is designed for paranoia and violation. If you wish to learn more about my 10 invader archetypes, ask in the comments and I'll go into more detail. Also, if you're enjoying the types of insights I provide here, say so, as that helps the algorithm know that people want this channel to exist and become more than what it is now. Now that you understand how the invaded house works, and how it's been hiding in plain sight across series, such as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I imagine some of you might want to make one yourself. I've got you covered. First, I defined the sanctuary. I've put a list on the screen of the 7 I've worked out, though I'll say them real quick. The home, the refuge, the institution, the body, the mind, the network, and the relationship. Again, if you'd like to know more, ask in the comments. I fully built all this out, but I wish to reserve that for those who want greater depth. Second, define the invader's intent. I've worked out 14 options for what they could want to do. 1. Consumption. The invader wants to feed, drain, or harvest something from the sanctuary or its inhabitants. 2. Replacement. The invader wants to become the inhabitant or take their place. 3. Corruption. The invader wants to contaminate, infect, or morally degrade the sanctuary and all within. 4. Punishment. The invader wants to inflict suffering or judgment for its perceived sin, failure, or transgression. 5. Haunting. The invader wants to be remembered, acknowledged, or avenged for what was lost or forgotten. 6. Control. The invader wants to dominate, puppet, or subjugate those within the sanctuary. 7. Seduction. The invader wants to be invited in through temptation, manipulation, or emotional deceit. 8. Conversion. The invader wants to transform the inhabitants, physically, spiritually, or ideologically, into their own image. 9. Reclamation. The invader wants to retake what it believes was rightfully its own, whether space, body, or soul. 10. Curiosity. The invader wants to observe, study, or experiment upon the inhabitants to satisfy its fascination. 11. Chaos. The invader wants nothing coherent. It acts purely from impulse, destruction, or the joy of violation. 12. Union. The invader wants to merge, bond, or achieve intimacy with the inhabitant until no boundary remains. 13. Restoration. The invader wants to repair what it perceives as broken, even if that healing is ruinous. And 14. Possession of space. The invader wants simply to exist within the sanctuary, claiming it as its rightful home. After that, I'd map the boundary. Visualize your house as a concentric circle. For instance, outer world, property, house, bedroom. The story escalates by violating each layer in order. Basically, think of what each layer of safety is. Fourth, I designed the threshold event. What's the first undeniable sign that the outside is getting in? That's your inciting violation. Fifth, I think about what it starts doing once inside. In this case, I'd focus on psychological inversion. After all, the invaded house is horror by a transformation of meaning. Everything comforting becomes threatening. Like, think of a family pet whose corrupted form is it acting strange or attacking, for example. Sixth, I'd structure the narrative with the escalation. There's really 5 phases of an invasion. 1. Tranquility. This establishes safety. 2. Disturbance. A hint of intrusion. 3. Violation. Threshold breach. 4. Collapse. Total invasion. And 5. Aftermath. Restoration or ruin of the sanctuary. I'd recommend 3 boundary breaches across the disturbance, violation, and collapse. 3 within the external of the disturbance, 3 within the domestic of the violation, and 3 within the intimate and collapse. Seventh, think about the character function roles when focusing on the archetypes this specific narrative needs. This is the cast that forms the psychological ecosystem of the house. The protector tries to defend the home. The denier refuses to believe the intrusion. The witness perceives the invasion first. The betrayer opens the door for the invader. This, to note, can be literally or figuratively. The innocent represents the purity that needs defended. And the survivor endures and possibly escapes. These roles can be combined. They are internal responses to the invader, not separate characters. Laurie from Halloween starts as an innocent and witness, then becomes a protector and survivor. Kevin from Home Alone, same arc. At minimum, you need witness, protector, and survivor. And these three can all be one person in a single protagonist horror. I saw it. I fought it. I survived it. Everything else has thematic depth, social texture, and moral tension. They do not, however, give structure. And speaking of structure, let's resolve the invaded house. When it comes to the resolution, there are only three options: restoration, reversal, and revelation. In restoration, the sanctuary is purified, reclaimed, and made safe again, but at a cost. For an example of this, let's think The Conjuring. In it, the family drives out the spirit and stays together. Happy ending. With the reversal, the sanctuary is lost. The invader wins and the space is permanently corrupted. In this case, we'll focus on The Thing. The invader wins in the end and still lives on, having succeeded at everything. And with revelation, the sanctuary cannot return to what it was, but the protagonist evolves beyond it. Basically, the lead no longer needs the sanctuary after whatever changes that. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but if you can, toss it out to me in the comments. Regardless, with all of that, the invaded house should be complete. If there's anything you need help on, tell me in the comments. And if this was of value to you and you wish to help me in return, there's a couple of things you can do. As said, you can comment, super helpful for the algorithm and reassuring to me. You can also become a channel member, as it helps make this all more sustainable and means I can make more content faster. And last but not least, you can take a look at my own work on my other channel, Story Marc Studios, where I share my work in a format I've created called broadcast literature. Whatever you do, thank you for your support. It helps reassure me that I'm on the right path.